Welcome to Watch Symposium. I'm Austin. All right, so I should be at the sports club right now, but it's closed. Rode all the way here on my bike to realize it was closed, and I could have easily checked on my computer before leaving to figure that out, but I didn't, and I don't know. I have a license to be lazy, so I can't say that I'm entirely disappointed. Yeah, I know. I mean, if I could push a button and get my workout in, I would feel better. It would be a better thing. But hey, I'm just gonna have to just relax today. That sucks. No, I gotta pick up my daughter at school and take her swimming to her swimming lesson. This is the 4-year-old daughter, and I was cutting it close anyway, so this kind of gives me a lot of breathing room. Anyway, I'm sure you guys like hearing about my challenges getting to the sports club. But anyway, I've got time, so I thought I would make a video. And I'd like to make this video, the topic, I'd like to make it about the dilemma that you face when you get an inexpensive pre-owned piece, like the two Seikos that I have, the two Datejust looking Seikos, because those are inexpensive watches. Well, you know, I paid less than 40 bucks for each, and they both run well. But that's, there's a dilemma in the future that I'll have to face, because at some point in the future, I'm going to need to have them serviced. And the service is undoubtedly going to be more than what I paid for the watches. And so that's the dilemma there. What do? Do you pay more than the watch to have it serviced? And I guess the answer is, does it have sentimental value to you? Do you like it that much? And I do like these two Seikos, but do I like them enough to pay even $100, which that's a deal. Here in Japan, to have them serviced, I'm thinking the minimum $200. Probably I'm looking at 300. I mean, that's what it got to get my grandfather's watches worked on, no less than 300. So, but these could be a little cheaper, but they're not going to charge 40 bucks. They're not going to charge 50 bucks. I could probably find some place to do it for 200, maybe 100, but let's just say I could find a place to do it for $100. That's a lot of money considering those watches. I mean, I don't know that I think on the new market they would have been over $100, but they're not new watches anymore. And I mean, we can get Seiko 5s for 100, for 80 if you check on Amazon. But that's the question, and I hate to not keep mechanical watches going. I hate to let them die, and I hate to not take care of them. I like taking care of things, and I like the fact that these watches were unwanted by their original owner, and I came along and I'm happy to have them, and I appreciate them, and I feel like I rescued a cat or something. And it's not like you're doing it for the cat. You do it because you really see value in the watches. But when you're faced with that inevitable decision to keep them going, that really tests how valuable they are to you. And I don't look forward to that. That's one reason why I think it would be a great thing to learn how to work on watches. It's kind of one of those things that if I had just tons of time and money, and I was just independently wealthy, and I could just do whatever I wanted, I'd probably move my family for a year to Switzerland and learn to work on watches. That would be fun. That would be an awesome thing to do. And I probably, to learn how to work on watches, you probably don't need to go to those extremes, but I would like to pick up some tools sometime, and it's always nice to. I'm one of those people. I hate cheaping out, and I don't really want to get the $10 tool set from China. But on the other hand, I don't know if you guys have checked out Bergion tool sets. Oh my God, you're talking Rolex prices there. So I remember seeing four screwdrivers for $4,000. It's like $1,000 a screwdriver. I don't know what these screwdrivers did. They maybe just stir the movement and they just fix everything. I don't know, but very expensive stuff. But I considering I don't know how to do squat on a watch, laying out that kind of money for a good tool set is not a wise decision. And but anyway, I probably should pick up something from China, and I know I could learn how to work on them here in Japan, and through effort and research, and it's one of those things I kind of would like to do, and then I think about, like, wow, that's some time consuming. You're getting into quite a time consuming and specialized hobby that you can't really half-ass it. I mean, you gotta, to break down a watch and to put it back together, it's a big thing. Anyway, I do think that working on watches would be a fun thing, and it would be great. And if I could snap my fingers and be able to do it, that would be fantastic. But it would solve that problem of these watches that may need a service, and you don't know what to do, because as of now, like many of you, I'm dependent on a watchmaker, and so that's that. Now, that in a way is a nice thing about, say, a real high-end watch like a Rolex. There's automatically a ton of value there, so it's a no-brainer. If you've got a problem with your Rolex, you have it serviced. $300 is a drop in the bucket considering what that watch is worth. And in that sense, it more represents, a fine. I always compare them to cars, like a really nice old classic car that it's worth going out of your way to service and to take care of, and if you don't do it, someone else will. And you contrast that with these old Seiko 5s, which I do love so much. They are sort of like old junkers that really people are like, it's not worth it to work on. It's the service costs more than the watch. It's not worth it. It's their low price, I guess, in the beginning makes it so that when something goes wrong, they kind of turn into a throwaway watch. And the funny thing is that they're not a throwaway watch. They're not. They shouldn't be. I mean, but with that low price tag in the beginning, it sort of puts them in that category. And that, in a way, is one reason to just really stick to nice watches. Really respectable watches that are worth the time and money to keep going. Because, once, tomorrow, if one of these Seiko 5s were to crap out, man, I gotta be honest, I don't know that I'd take the time out of my day to go find somebody to take it to, much less pay the money. and that's there's a lot of potential in those little watches, and there's a lot of life left in them if just somebody takes care of them. And when it comes down to it, for some strange reason, they're not just valuable enough to. Yeah, it's odd. And you know, when I step back and look at it in that regard, it sort of makes me really appreciate just a good Rolex that you have worked on, and that you keep looking good and looking nice and functioning well, and you do what it needs to be done with it when something fails, and you take it to have it serviced when it needs a service, and it's like a classic vintage, just beautiful car. You'd never let it go to ruin. You'd never look at it as a throwaway item like you would these Seiko 5s. So that's sort of the dilemma when you get one of these quote good deals. What's the future of that watch when it needs a service? Are you gonna throw it away? Or are you gonna chuck it? Or are you gonna just stick it in your drawer to rot? Are you gonna try to work on it yourself? Are you gonna pay the money to have it worked on? Yeah, that's the dilemma. That's the dilemma. And you know, if it was something like my grandfather's Seiko 5, just like my grandfather's watches, I mean, those are watches that are not valuable watches, and the only reason that they're not even worth what I paid to have them serviced, but is the sentimental value. That was the deciding factor there. Whereas these Seiko 5s, I mean, there's really no sentimental value, really. Yeah. So anyway, yet another reason just to really stick to the high-end watches. Pour your money and your time and your effort into those really valuable watches. Something to think about. Anyway, take care. Thanks for watching. See you next time.